Thank you, Minister Skinnari, for your passionate keynote and opening words from your side. So now it's time to listen what Team Canada has to say. So reflecting our efforts in building a bilateral collaboration, we are honored to hear next the keynote of Canada by the Honourable Jonathan Wilkinson, Minister of Environment and Climate Change. So please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Minister. Thank you for visiting us here in Canada. I do want to start by acknowledging that we are meeting on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississauga of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. It is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. I want to thank Business Finland and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Finland for inviting me to be here today. Je vous remercie de m'avoir invité. C'est un plaisir d'être ici avec vous. This is actually my first official engagement as Canada's Minister of Environment and Climate Change, and I'm pleased and honored to be here with you as we celebrate the opening of the Canadian Office of Business Finland, building on the strong relationship that Canada and Finland already share. It is great to see Minister Skinnari and the Finnish delegation of business leaders here as part of their mission to Canada this week. Canada and Finland have a long history of collaboration and mutual support. In 2017, bilateral trade between Canada and Finland was valued at over $1.8 billion, focused on science, on technology, and innovation partnerships. Nous continuons à travailler en étroite collaboration pour atteindre des objectifs communs dans le cadre d'importants forums comme le Conseil d'Arctique. As winter-loving nations, we also enjoy a little friendly competition on the hockey rink. You folks may have won gold at World Juniors last year, but we will see you at center ice in a couple of weeks. In all seriousness, it's great to see so many Canadian and Finnish representatives from different sectors coming together to connect and be in discussions on partnerships in the new world that we are forging together towards the circular economy. We're here to talk today about how business must be part of developing solutions to global environmental challenges. Environmental protection is a shared responsibility, not just between governments, national or subnational, but from citizen to citizen, from CEO to the children we teach to use the recycling bin. Nous partageons tout cet environnement et il incombe certainement en partie aux personnes présentes dans cette salle de démontrer qu'il est possible de prendre des mesures énergétiques pour assurer un avenir durable. Canada just came through a fairly tough election campaign. Climate change and environmental sustainability were very much ballot issues in the election, and Canadians overwhelmingly voted for strong environmental action. This affirmed to me that Canadians are ready for bold, transformative action towards a circular, sustainable economy. But large transformative progress, like building a global circular economy, will not be possible without the buy-in and the active participation of business. Circular economy is about shifting away from traditional behaviors, such as simply extracting resources, manufacturing products, and then disposing of those products. Practices that waste resources, often pollute the environment, and throw away value. The circular economy is about keeping resources in the economy and out of landfills and our environment. It is about refurbishing, manufacturing, reusing, and then recovering the resources and products to keep the energy that was invested in making them recirculate in the economy. This past June, Prime Minister Trudeau announced that Canada will ban harmful single-use plastics as early as 2021. We will work with government and industry to ensure that producers of plastic products and plastic packaging are responsible for their collection and their recycling. And we will work with government and industry partners to ensure that for plastics that will continue to play an important role in our lives, producers will have significantly higher recycling rates. I certainly want to acknowledge the key role that the European Union leadership on plastics played in shaping Canada's strategy. Canadians throw away about $8 billion of plastic material every year. By recycling or reusing these plastics, we can reduce pollution, generate billions of dollars in revenue, and create thousands of jobs. Many industries are already seeing the benefits of moving in towards circular economy business models to save money or to open up new markets, from turning pulp and paper waste into renewable bioproducts to recovering and repurposing valuable metals like copper, nickel, or gold from waste. L'économie circulaire permet de récompenser l'innovation et offre aux entreprises un plus grand contrôle sur le cycle de vie de leurs produits. Nous avons tout intérêt à repenser notre façon de mener nos activités et notre mode de vie en trouvant des solutions intelligentes qui tirent autant de valeur que possible de nos ressources. This shift is necessary if we are to protect our shared environment. The circular economy is the core idea underpinning so many of our discussions on climate action. Climate action is about reducing our pollution, from invisible greenhouse gases in the atmosphere to landfills that pollute our lands and our waters. Climate action is about finding new and innovative ways to keep on growing our economy. Recent science has made very clear just how damaging our take, make, dispose cycle is to our planet. A UN report this spring showed us that 1 million species are at risk of extinction. A report by Canadian scientists showed that as a northern country, our climate is warming at twice the global rate, and that we may begin to see an ice-free Arctic shortly. Canada knows we are facing a climate emergency and a global biodiversity crisis. Taking action means working together, taking aim from many different angles, lowering emissions, protecting nature, and reducing and recycling the waste that pollutes our lands and our oceans. That is why events like today's are so necessary. Given the importance of the conversation about and action to further develop of a circular economy, today I am very pleased to announce that Canada will host the World Circular Economy Forum 2020 here in Toronto from September 29th through until October the 1st. Le forum sera organisé conjointement par le gouvernement du Canada et le Fonds d'innovation finlandais CITRA. C'est la première fois que ce forum se tiendra en Amérique du Nord. It's the first time this forum will be held in North America. The forum will bring together leaders from around the world to find new solutions and accelerate the global shift towards a circular economy. As someone who spent 15 years prior to entering politics as the Chief Executive Officer in the Canadian clean tech sector, I know firsthand that innovation and new technologies will be critical to making this shift and can help us across the global economy to increase resource productivity, create jobs, reduce environmental impacts, and contribute to a thriving and a cleaner global economy. Je suis ravi des occasions qu'il offrira aux entreprises, organismes de recherche et aux universités de présenter leurs technologies, de trouver de nouveaux marchés et de rencontrer des innovateurs et des investisseurs de classe mondiale. L'adoption de l'économie circulaire à l'échelle mondiale survient à un moment important de nos efforts collectifs pour relever des défis environnementaux cruciaux. Next week, I will be at COP25 in Madrid, where we will work to finalize the rules for international carbon markets as all the Paris Agreement signatories work to keep global warming to under 2 degrees centigrade. We saw the news last week, the grim new United Nations report on climate change. Now, more than ever, global cooperation is essential. Canada is very excited to be hosting the World Circular Economy Forum in 2020. I want to thank the Finnish Innovation Fund, CITRA, the Circular Economy Leadership Coalition, and our other partners very much, including the government of Finland, for making this possible. Like you, we know that our economic future lies in ensuring that industries are leaders in both innovation and sustainability, creating jobs while significantly reducing our environmental impacts. Thank you very much for inviting me to be with you today, and thank you very much for sponsoring this important forum, and I hope that your coming day and a half are very productive. Thank you.
Thank you and merci beaucoup, Minister Wilkinson, for joining this event. and building the foundation for collaboration between Finland and Canada. So this speech is now the first part of our seminar. So what happens next? So ministers and the named delegates will move to the room next door called Vaughan Room. You have a press conference over there. And the rest of us, there's a coffee available there.
We're going to be flanked here. We're waiting for one person.
Okay.
Well, this looks like, yeah, I give it to you, co-chair of the coalition. Thanks very much.
Is that all?
Waiting for this one.
Okay. Okay. So I think actually we just have a few questions from CBC and Radio Canada here. So Minister Wilkinson's just going to come up. We'll do, maybe one question, one follow-up, maybe an additional. And then if you had any questions for anybody else here, I'd be happy to moderate that too. Okay.
Good morning, sir. Simon Dingley from CBC National News. You mentioned you're going to COP25 next week. Trading carbon globally is something that actually has political consensus domestically. When the carbon tax becomes a flashpoint, how vital will the discussions be at an international level to address climate action here at home?
Well, I think at COP, all of the countries are going to be looking at progress that's been made in other countries, and certainly Canada needs to show that it's making the kind of progress that we committed to our international partners that we would do. Part of that was putting a price on pollution, which was, as you know, a significant subject of discussion during the recent election campaign. And we saw that 2/3 of Canadians voted in favor of parties that wanted to see aggressive climate action. But certainly we need to go on. We need to do more. As you said, one of the main points that's going to be discussed at COP is Article 6, which is the whole emissions credits scheme. Those only apply if, in fact, countries have strong and aggressive climate policies. We will be working to see if we can come to some consensus on that, but at the end of the day, Canada needs to do its part to address its own domestic emissions, and that's what we intend to do. Okay. À COP25, c'est une conférence qui est très importante. Et le Canada doit être là pour dire que nous sommes très sérieux de confronter le changement climatique. Et il y a beaucoup de choses que nous avons fait, mais nous savons qu'il y a beaucoup de choses que nous devons faire à l'avenir. Et nous sommes très confortables que nous pouvons achieve notre cible de changement climatique sous l'accord de Paris.
Follow-up question in English there. Finland wants to be carbon neutral by 2035. Can Canada match that, and if so, how?
Well, it's a very ambitious target. I was very complimentary with my counterpart when we were talking about it. During the election campaign that just finished a couple of months ago, the Liberal Party committed to carbon neutrality, net zero by 2050. That is, from our perspective, a very ambitious target, given where we stand and also given that Canada is a hydrocarbon-producing country. We believe that is what we must do. The science tells us that developed countries need to get to net zero by 2050. We've made that commitment, and one of the big tasks that I have in front of me that the Prime Minister has asked me to work on is to map out the pathways through which we're going to achieve that.
If Finland can do it, why can't we?
Well, I would say that Canada's in perhaps the unfortunate position that prior to 2015, previous governments did nothing to address climate change. Since 2015, we've put into place a pan-Canadian approach to addressing climate change that includes 50 different initiatives around phasing out of coal, methane regulations, building electric vehicle infrastructure, a whole range of different things. We've made enormous progress. We've identified over 200 megatons in reduction, and we are on a path to achieve the targets we committed to under Paris. But in order to achieve net zero, we are following what scientists tell us we need to do, and we're comfortable that we will be able to get there. En français? Je ne sais pas comment est-ce qu'on dit net zero en français, mais nous sommes... le gouvernement du Canada a dit durant la campagne électorale que c'est le cible que nous devons assurer. C'est quelque chose que le scientifique dit le monde doit avoir si nous voulons avoir une monde qui est durable pour l'avenir. Et maintenant, nous avons un plan pour 2030 et des choses que le Premier ministre m'a demandé, c'est je dois faire un plan pour assurer que nous pouvons avoir net zéro par 2050.
Final question, sir. Can you explain, so that Canadians will understand what a circular economy is in layman's terms, if possible, so their eyes don't glaze over tonight?
Sure, I can try. I mean, a circular economy fundamentally means that we actually do much, much better at using the resources that we put into products and products that people buy and use. So that instead of taking, plastics or metals or a variety of kinds of things and throwing them in the garbage and those end up in a landfill, or at best they end up in some kind of a waste facility, that we actually look at how do we do better on recycling? How do we make products so that they're much easier to recycle or to reuse? How do we get rid of products that simply are garbage? It's essentially getting rid of the term waste, that we're actually reusing everything that we produce. Full circle.
And, yeah, quick question. Your reaction to the deal between Ontario and New Brunswick and Saskatchewan to work together to develop a small nuclear reactor? Does this kind of feel like we're going away from what we're talking about here today?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's been lots of conversation around, certainly nuclear energy is part of the energy mix for a whole range of countries, including Canada here in Ontario. Small modular nuclear reactors are an idea, a technology that has been looked at over the past number of years. I think the federal government actually worked with the provinces on this in 2018. There is work to do on the technology, I think, before it's likely fully commercial. But certainly in an era where we have a climate crisis, non-emitting technologies that provide baseload power are interesting. It is something that I think we are interested in continuing to have a conversation with the provinces about. Canada is obviously in the very fortunate position that 80% of our power is already renewable. But we have a target to get to 90 and ultimately to get to 100% non-emitting. And so we will look at all potential sources of non-emitting energy. Other questions for others, or?
If we could have the minister, sure, for Finland. Sorry, the ambassador. Sir, what do you think of Canada's plan for 2050?
Well, obviously, as a minister from Finland, I'm very proud that Finland is committed to be carbon neutral by 2035, and European Union as a whole. And obviously, I'm also very happy and proud that Finland is to open the office here today in Toronto for Business Finland, that we can embrace our innovations, technologies, when it comes to renewable energy, when it comes to research and development as a whole, and our business collaboration. So I see it very valuable that Team Finland is here and we can collaborate with Team Canada. I think all in all, if we look at the global situation when it comes to climate change, Paris Agreement in place, we really have to value on the agreements what we have, Paris Agreement, our trade agreements, how we make them more sustainable, how we really work on the implementation of the trade agreements, and of course, at the European level, that's our focus area. I'm obviously not here to advise Canada. I'm not advising Canada in energy policy and hockey. I think it's something that I leave on you guys. But the thing is that I think the ambitiousness is the key, and the collaboration between public-private sector, government level, municipality level, regional level, but especially with the people. It has to be economically and socially sustainable. And that is the key for Finland, and I assume that is also the key for Canada. And I think the roadmaps, what we are composing in Finland, meaning that how we achieve the goals, what we have achieved, means that we do define the goals and the roadmaps to each sector individually, which means that we really have to work together with the industries and the people. But we also have to have more holistic approach at the end, not just work in a silo, but also have the holistic approach horizontally that we can really go further with our ambitious goals. But eventually, I do believe that we can create far more opportunities for people. We can enhance the job creation at the global level, at the local level, once we do it together. And I'm so proud to be here in Canada because it's almost like back home if I look at the weather.
I know the European Union's goal is 2050, but you're beating it by doing it by 2035. Can you spur on Canada to do the same in your year?
Well, Finland started pretty early. We saw that strategically we have to move, and our industry was willing to move. And obviously, as I said earlier, it's something that, like the circular economy, we already started the roadmap work 2016, and we are now already there, that how we circulate at the municipality level and how we get the whole value chain also with the new business opportunities. So, in other words, I think everything is feasible, everything is doable, but we should not push too much. Finland is getting rid of coal. It's in a law now that we get rid of coal by the year 2029, but actually we do it before that already. Why? Because the industry already started the mitigation and the change. That's why we can implement even before that. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Okay. Sorry.
All right. Thanks, everybody.